which comes from language. What do you say about Salvation Army?
I'd like to give a synopsis, if I may, what has brought me to this stage. In 1865, a lot of people will already know William Booth, who founded the Salvation Army, did so to help the poor people, those who suffered from the abuse of drink that left them and their families without food because the father or whoever had a drink problem. And he always said, before you can save somebody's soul, you've got to feed their stomach and look after their needs. From that expanded a worldwide organisation. And my parents felt the call of Christ to help in some way because they were both Christians. And they felt called, which is a rare expression these days. They had a vocation to do God's work, and they chose the medium of the Salvation Army. I myself had no choice in the matter. I was born into that situation. I didn't like it because I didn't like the lifestyle. I've lived everywhere, which I have mentioned previously, but just to recap, my parents lived in 35 houses. My mother served on a troop train. They lived in every country of the United Kingdom, both sides of Ireland, many of the islands, and I myself lived in 16 houses, 14 places, and went to 8 schools. You don't get to go home to have tea with your auntie round the corner. They live hundreds of miles away. So I felt very dejected in that sense. I couldn't do the things my friends could do. And I didn't like the lifestyle. It wasn't for me. And I found it very difficult moving from place to place. That said, we all, 3 of us, and other family that aren't here anymore, earned the right for an agreement so that when my parents retired, along with all the others in their category of ministers, they would get a special compensation in retirement because they worked all their lives for a reduced salary and all those circumstances. I've had to experience things that most people don't experience because of sorrows of parishioners, catastrophes. They nearly lost their lives during the service of the Salvation Army, and I came close to it once. So all that was going to be compensated in retirement, where we'd have the reduced lifelong tenancy, along with all our friends and contemporaries. One man came into power in the Salvation Army International Headquarters Property Department. He decided he wanted the money for the house where I lived. After 30 odd years, we lived in 3 properties, and my mother and I moved into this last one following the unexpected death of my father. 2 days after we moved in, the Salvation Army increased the rent as a test case on a bereaved family. We managed to challenge them about that successfully. Then when my mother died, they tried to change my tenancy, and I said, no, I keep to the same one I've always had. And they accepted that because then nothing changed. Then, some years later, without my knowledge, they put the house on the open market online, which was a very deceitful thing to do, illegal and immoral, not what you'd expect of the Salvation Army. I had to suffer the indignities of being transferred into a commercial property, losing all my rights. I was abused. I was nearly beaten up one night when one of their workmen came to speak to me about something incidental. And I felt really bereft because I couldn't challenge the Salvation Army. They're such a famous organisation that do charitable works. No one thought they could have an underbelly that's corrupt. So after a long journey, I've now come to the stage where I have nothing to lose now. The current commercial landlord is trying to get me out through one means or another. And as charity cannot sell to the commercial sector like this anyway, it has to go through a charities commission. And whether or not that was the case at the time of the sale is irrelevant. I lodged a complaint in Parliament. I've approached all the authorities, the Charities Commission, and they all turn a blind eye. Even the council, who know the truth, can't get involved. It's against their status, shall we say. I don't know the correct term, but they're turning a blind eye too. So I have nothing to lose, and I'm grateful to my solicitors because they're the only ones that have given me this chance, and I've waited years for it. I'm not running down the Salvation Army. They have some very good saints who will give the jacket off their backs, and I know them. I know the stories. But I also know what this one person has done. He's corrupt. For what he's done, he should be in jail, to be quite honest. I wouldn't go so far as to want that, but I do want redress and justice, and I'm relying on the British public to support me in this. It's all wrong. It should not be happening. Please don't turn a blind eye. I'm an old lady. Please help me get justice before I die. Thank you. Is that all right? I don't think I can better that. That's why